following the USA's exciting 4-0 win over New Zealand in the FIFA U20 World Cup round of 16. We're here with head coach Mikey Varas. Mikey, if you want to start us off, I'll leave the floor to you.
Yeah, thanks again for following us and supporting the group. We're going to enjoy this one today. Really happy with the result, but the group is hungry for more, and we'll wake up tomorrow and be focused on the next one.
Great. If you have a question, you can go ahead to that bottom bar and raise your hand. Also, if you need recording permission, feel free to ask me in the chat, and I'll get you set up with that. Let's kick things off here with Mr. Doug McIntyre from Fox Sports.
Thanks, Chris. Mikey, how are you? Congrats on the win today. Your team's already made history. Give a chance to get motivated ahead of Sunday's match.
Sorry, I didn't catch that one. Chris, did you?
You want to try that one more time, Doug?
Yeah, sure. Mike, I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, I got you now.
All right, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, so look, the team, first of all, congrats on the win today. The team's already made history qualifying for the Olympics. You know, this team has gone to the quarterfinals of the Under-20 World Cup a bunch of times. Now you have the opportunity to get to the semis. How much will you use that opportunity to motivate the group ahead of Sunday's match? Thanks and good luck, Mikey.
Yeah, thank you. I think I stated before, being at a World Cup is motivation enough. You get a chance to represent your country. It's a massive honor, and it's a huge responsibility that we do everything that we're capable of to make sure that we make everyone back home proud. And clearly the next target is preparing for a quarterfinal match and making sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position to win that one.
Thanks, Doug. Next up, let's go to Mike Watella from Soccer America.
Mikey, can you just talk about today's game and you know what went the way you expected it to? You know, was there anything that you saw that maybe you would improve on, or just give us your impressions? And if you want to talk about individual performances, anybody who you were felt good about or deserved credit for the game today.
Yeah, we weren't sure if New Zealand was going to come out in a 4-2-3-1 or a 5-2-3, as they've used both. So the boys, again, relying on our strength of being able to be tactically flexible and adaptable to what we confront. I think the boys handled that really well. I think that we created really good chances. We controlled large portions of the game. If there was something that we can improve on, of course, we want to become more efficient with the chances that we get. But at the end of the day, the boys put 4 in the back of the net. The boys are training great, and I know that efficiency will come. And in terms of individual performances, I think it was a huge collective effort, to be honest. I couldn't single one guy out because it would be a disservice to the rest.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Next up, let's take Brian Sciaretta from American Soccer Now.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks, Mikey, as always. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the Josh Widener, Brandon Craig, and Justin Shea trio that you have there in the back. You've been using that pretty regularly throughout this tournament, and they seem to be kind of growing together. I know they may not have been tested as much as they were in some other games, but could you talk about what you see with that trio and how you see them progressing this far in the tournament? Are you pleased with the progress of that three-man unit?
Yeah, I'm massively proud of them. At the end of the day, we have shutouts in all our games, and that's something we can be really proud of. I think defending, taking as much pride in defending as attacking is something that's a strength of the whole group. So as I mentioned in our last call, all the players are contributing in that shutout. But something I love about the group is after big defensive plays, you see them celebrate those actions because we really feel like those are just like goals. When you make a big play that saves a goal from going in, from being conceded, we need to celebrate those moments.
Thank you. Next up, let's take Tom Bogert from The Athletic.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the time, Mikey. Congrats on advancing. This was the first game, obviously, the knockout rounds where you were able to integrate Pukstas and Paredes into the group and get some minutes under them. How has it been bringing them along into a group when they weren't here from the beginning?
Yeah, the culture is so strong in this group that they fit in seamlessly. So it's all smiles and laughter. As soon as those guys came in, it actually gave a boost to the group that's been here, right? Because we're accumulating days. And then on the field, yeah, I think it was an ideal situation where we got to get both of them in the game and get them integrated with the group now on the field, and I think that's gonna pay dividends going forward.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you, Tom. Next up, let's go to Andrew Jones.
Thank you, Chris. Mikey, congrats on that win today. Wanted to ask you first about Diego Luna's work rate. Everyone had great work rates today, but in particular with his pressing and being able to listen to your instructions and get the press on at the perfect time against New Zealand. Can you talk about his contributions today? And also, Justin Shedd celebrating those great defensive moments of denials of New Zealand. Can you talk about that as well as his team celebration at the end for his goal?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with Diego. For me, there's no surprise or anything new. I've seen Diego from the beginning of the cycle, very motivated. He always runs a lot. He always sprints a lot. He gets a lot of credit for being a creative player. He does not get enough credit for how much work he does for the team in the defending phases. And I'm glad that today highlighted that for some people. And then in terms of Che celebrating those goals or celebrating those actions, yeah, it's a huge part of our DNA. It's something we talk about a lot. We compete a lot in training. The boys are built for these high-pressure competitive moments because it's something that's stimulated throughout the preparation, and they all have the personality to love those moments also. So really proud of them.
Thank you, Andrew. As a reminder, if you've got a question, go ahead to that bottom bar and raise your hand. Next up, we'll take Will Clark from the Soccer Pints.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Coach, congrats on the win. Thanks for your time today. 2 weeks ago in the lead up to this tournament, you mentioned the culture within the squad. You just mentioned it again, and how you were just really confident in the guys you had on the roster, wanted them to embrace this underdog mentality. So after 4 wins and 0 goals conceded, how do you keep this group grounded and motivated, maybe even humbled, and get them focused on the next opponent, knowing there's going to be continued talk about the clean sheets, the results, and further expectations?
Yeah, we take it step by step, milestone by milestone, and at the end of the day, all of those clean sheets are a great story for after the tournament. Right now, it's about celebrating what we just did in terms of the immediate game we had, and then turning the page and looking forward, because we know we're only as good as our last actions. So this group is hungry. One of our key values is being relentless. So we talk about when things are not going well, the ability to fight back and be relentless and getting back up off the ground. And when things are going well, to stay hungry and not be satisfied with what we have, but to actually want more.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Next up, we'll go back to Doug McIntyre from Fox Sports.
Thanks, Chris. Mikey, thanks for taking another one here. Uruguay and Gambia don't play till Thursday. How's that going to help your team? Whoever the opponent is, the fact that you have two more days rest than they do in a game of that importance?
It's a World Cup. I mean, those things go either way. You see it in all sports. Longer rest, shorter rest. At the end of the day, you have to be able to do quick turnarounds at one point or another. And so we're just going to focus on making sure we travel well, recover our bodies, keep the boys fresh but also activated, so that we're able to give everything whoever we play in the next match.
Thanks, Doug. We'll go back now to Mike Watella from Soccer America.
Yeah, my question was actually going to be kind of similar, but can you give us a little insight on what it's like for the team during in between the games, like, you know, what the process is going to be to get ready for that game, and you got a lot of time together. What you guys might do to, relax, recover, enjoy yourselves while you're getting ready for the games.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time together. There's a lot of informal time where the boys do a great job of doing their own team bonding and just hanging out and having fun. We have an incredible sports science and medical department who provides first-class care in terms of getting their bodies recovered. And then we have individualized plans for guys who had either more minutes or less minutes, because you just never know whose name's going to get called and who we're going to need at any given moment. So it's just all about individualizing it. And then at the end of the day, we also make sure that we provide individual attention and team attention in terms of feedback, what went well, what we need to do better, and what we have coming up next.
And is the as far as the health of the players, is everybody, you have any injury issues, or is it
Nope.
looking good so far?
Everyone's good.
Thanks, Mike. Next, we'll go back to Andrew
Thanks
Jones.
again, Chris, on that. Mikey, how did you feel your players adjusted to the field conditions in Mendoza after playing in San Juan, and how you felt the field was, as well as in that 5th minute with the VAR stoppage and the 2 minutes that it's to have that assessment be done? What was your thoughts about that moment and how your players stayed composed?
Yeah, you're going to face adversity at some point during the tournament. So I think we talk a lot about handling those moments with composure. And whatever was going to happen in that moment, we were going to be ready to respond. I think you mentioned it. The boys did a really good job. And then in terms of adapting to the field, my feeling and our feeling was that was the best CONCACAF field that we've ever played on. So we were good.
Thanks, Andrew. We'll go back to Will Clark now as we're wrapping up with Mikey.
Thanks again, Coach. What I loved today was not only the determination throughout the 90-plus minutes, but just the speed in which we fought to win the ball back when we lost possession. Is this something that you noticed when scouting New Zealand and implemented specifically for today, or is this just a collective effort from a group that's just really enjoying themselves at the moment?
It's part of our DNA. The transition moments for us is it's in our blood. And we've made an agreement between staff and players that mistakes are okay when we're able to be brave in possession, and mistakes are okay because we've signed up to be perfect when we turn the ball over in terms of counter pressing and putting pressure on the ball. I just think today was one of the best days that we've done it. It was really highlighted, but that's a pure DNA thing. That's something that we expect game in and game out.
Awesome. Mikey, thanks so much for taking the time.
All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate it.
You hold tight.